Welcome to the Brooklyn Park Now. I'm your host, City Clerk Devin Montero. We have a great episode of Brooklyn Park Now. It's an exciting time in the City Clerk's office as we prepare for a special election for the office of mayor, and you get to elect our next mayor. Candidate filing began on February 2nd, and it closes on February 16th. Candidates who want to withdraw from the race, they have up until February 18th to do so. If no more than 2 candidates filed, the special election will be held on Tuesday, April 13th. If more than 2 candidates file, that means the special election will take place on Tuesday, August 10th, with the special primary election occurring on April 13th. We will also have absentee voting by mail and in person, beginning on February 26th and runs through April 12th. In-person absentee voting will be held at the City Hall from 8 a.m. until 4:30 p.m. Residents are able to pre-register to vote in the election until March 23rd. After this date, residents will need to register at the polling place on election day. For the latest updates on the special election, including instructions for requesting an absentee ballot and registering to vote, please visit our election page at brooklynpark.org/elections. There's a lot going on in Brooklyn Park. We have updates from around the city, including park bond projects, development updates, road construction, new equipment for our fire department, and the Brooklyn Internship program. Stay tuned.
Well, hello, Brooklyn Park. My name is Jody Youngers, Director of Recreation and Parks. I'm here today to give you a little update on some of the park reinvestment projects that are happening in the beautiful city of Brooklyn Park. But most importantly, I hope that you and your family are staying safe and healthy as we work through getting through this COVID-19 epidemic. And I hope that you are engaging in our park system in a safe and healthy way, staying active. So what I want to do is, first of all, talk to you a little bit about some of the things that you can see happening in our park system that's going on in some of our park redevelopment. The first project I'd like to highlight is River Park. River Park has been undergoing construction or reconstruction over most of the summer of 2020 and fall. We continue some construction work over the winter months, and we're about 80% done with the redevelopment of River Park, with the exception, as you'll see, that we still have to do some work on the bathroom buildings that have been done at River Park. We did install the new kitchen facility that is to complement our current large picnic facility within River Park. And we're hoping that that will be activated and be ready for rental in mid-summer of 2021. I also want to let you know at Central Park, we did additionally at the large shelter at Central Park, we added a kitchen facility, and each of these kitchen facilities will have refrigeration and freezer space available. Additionally, sinks for cleaning facilities and areas that you can plug in crock pots and serve food out of the kitchen area. Additionally, we have 2 additional projects that include the expansion of our recreation buildings, neighborhood recreation buildings at Willowstone and at Northwoods. Those additions are allowing us to have additional program space. They're host facilities for our day camp facilities. And also storage and picnic space within the shelter area. So look for those. They're under construction now. We're hoping that we will have access to them for our summer day camp program in the summer of 2021. So those are all activities that you can see progress happening if you're out and about in the parks. I also want to highlight a few of the projects that will be starting this spring. We are going to be working with City Council on the approval of the reconstruction of 3 parks within our community at Lakeland, Hardcoff, and Norwood Parks. Each of those parks will be redeveloped with extensions of bathroom facilities, reincorporating an extended trail system within each of the parks. But each one of the parks has its unique features, and you can go to the city website and see the concept plans that are being proposed. That construction will happen in early spring, and our completion and opening of those parks would be likely in the summer of 2022. You can find all of this information on the city website as we do update the website on the project status. Additionally, look for our recreation and parks brochure. We do provide highlights on all of these projects within those brochures that will be released over the next couple of months. With that, I hope that you get out in this winter season, stay active, and look for some of the activities that our Parks and Recreation departments are planning for you to help you get out and about within our park system. Have a great day.
Hi, my name is Cindy Sherman. I'm the planning director with the city. I've been with the city just over 18 years and love my work. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about some projects that are in process or under construction, opening soon, recent approvals, all those kinds of things. First up is Kentucky Fried Chicken, which is a drive-up location that moved into the former Tim Hortons site at Xylon and 85th Avenue. They recently opened and for drive-through service. The second thing I'd like to talk about is Urbana Court. This is a 207 unit market rate apartment project located on 93rd Avenue North, just to the east of Zane Avenue, and they'll be opening for lease soon. It's a nice addition to the Highway 610 corridor. Next, we have Sweet Living, which is a assisted living facility, 32 units that opened right next to City Hall on a vacant site at Regent and 85th Avenue North. And this is a business that provides assisted living services to senior citizens. Next, Stone Mountain Plaza is a recent addition to the Stone Mountain Plaza development area at Oak Grove Parkway and Zane Avenue. And this is a multi-tenant building that has leasable space available. I'm not aware that they have any tenants signed yet. I think the pandemic has slowed that business side of things down a little bit, but they do have space available for anybody looking for a home for retail business. And they do have a couple of patio areas associated with that building, so perfect spots for some new restaurants to come in. Next on the list is Raising Cane's, which received approval in late 2020 from the City Council. They are scheduled to begin construction soon in the spring. They are located just south of Panera at 610 Crossing, which is at 610 Oak Grove Parkway and Zane Avenue. Next on the list is A1 Reliable, which is the name of a company that is going to build a 32-unit housing facility, a housing with services facility at Zane and just north of 69th Avenue. This is a facility that provides a variety of care to people that need assistance. Next on the list is a project that's under construction. This is Data Bank. It's a large data facility that is being built in our North Park Business Center, which is just off Winnetka and Oxbow Creek Drive. That began construction late in 2020 and will be wrapping up later in 2021. Next on the list of new projects is Wood Spring Suites, which is a new hotel proposed, 120 rooms. And this would be located at the end of Winnetka Avenue, right at the end of where it bumps into Highway 610 and would be surrounded by Takeda, Tesla, and Worth Adams and Perbix are the businesses located in that business park. Next on our list is 610 Junction. This is a development area that's located on the west side of Highway 169 on the north side of 93rd Avenue North. And this area is a proposed for development by United Properties, and will include the development of a new building to house Juno, which is a manufacturing facility that will be relocating into our community. They are scheduled to begin construction later in the spring, and we'll be going to the Planning Commission and City Council in March. We also have Highview 610, which is a multi-tenant building, about 73,000 square feet. This is located at the end of Louisiana Avenue, right across the cul-de-sac from Olympus. And this again is a multi-tenant building that's being proposed for construction and will be available for lease either to a single tenant or multi-tenant user. It's a little smaller than some of our other business park type of buildings to fit a different niche in the market. And one of the things I always like to say about our office warehouse buildings that are under construction in many of our business park locations is people think of them as office warehouses. They're actually where we have a lot of jobs, which has been a priority for former Mayor Lundy and the council for the past number of years, is job creation. So a lot of these buildings are being developed to allow for job growth and job addition into the community. Next up, we have Twin City Orthopaedic, which is a recent council action. The council did approve the development for a 40,000 square foot medical building by Twin City Orthopaedic, and this would be located just off 96th Avenue and Oak Grove Parkway up in our 610 crossing area, so just to the east of Panera Bread. And this is a 2-story medical building that will include all the things you usually see with Twin City Orthopaedic, including physical therapy, clinic space. They also have an additional building for future construction that's been identified, but no plans to build that 10,000 square foot building at this point. Finally, we have new applications in process that will be going through Planning Commission in February, back to the council then at the end of February for action and spring construction. And they include a new Taco Bell. It's a new prototype for Taco Bell where they're really focusing under our pandemic on drive-through service, including setting the stage for delivery services to be able to order and pick up orders for people and then have those deliveries come out. So it's proposed to be located just south of the Hy-Vee store at 96 and Zane. And it really is a nice design, interesting new prototype. So the first of its type in the metro area. And then finally, we do have current applications in, again, for February review for North Park for 2 additional buildings. And this is a large business park located south of 109th and on the west side of Winnetka Avenue. North Park Business Center, which is approved for all sorts of manufacturing and business park type of buildings. These are built by Scannell Properties as speculative buildings, meaning that they don't have tenants at this point, but they like to have the inventory available for businesses that are looking for a new home. They have a building, their 3rd building is currently up and is fully leased, even though the tenants haven't moved in yet. They will be moving in over the next couple of months. One thing to always use as a resource if you're interested in development is we do have a map on the city's website for developments. It shows everything that's pending, everything that's been approved, what's under construction, what's now open. And there's also links on that website to staff reports to get a lot more detail on any of the projects that I've talked about here or projects in the future. Thanks so much.
Hi, everyone. My name is Nayoka. I am the program assistant for Brooklink, and today I'm here to give you a little bit of information on what Brooklink is. Brooklink is a division under the City Hall's Economic Development and Housing Department. However, we're also directed by the cities of Brooklyn Park and Brooklyn Center. Brooklink is a response to the needs of our community and mainly to the needs of our youths and young adults in the Brooklyn Park, Brooklyn Center area. We're dedicated to addressing our regional talent and workforce needs by using strategies and intentionally supporting and investing in our young people facing employment barriers in our communities.
Hi, everybody. My name is Paul Vang. I'm the program coordinator for Brooklink. So one of those trainings that we are having at the moment is called Get Ready. Get Ready is a free work readiness training for youth ages 14 to 21. And we traditionally have it on site at Hennepin Technical College, but because of the world we live in right now, everything is online. So Get Ready is a prerequisite for youth between the ages of 16 to 21. live or go to school in Brooklyn Park and Brooklyn Center, who's interested in an internship. Our summer internship program usually runs about 10 weeks from the time span of June to August. And youth usually work about 20 to 30 hours per week on average. Last year we averaged about, we had pays in between $12.50 to $15 an hour. This year, we want to be able to provide youth with the same opportunities. But before youth could get into some of those opportunities, Get Ready is where it all begins. What we did this year was we engaged young people and we asked them, what are some of the specifics that would help you land a job or to be able to navigate the workplace? And they've identified 7 of those key buckets, and we incorporated those 7 key buckets into our program. It's not required that you're a Brooklyn Park resident or Brooklyn Center resident. After the completion of the course, which usually is about 45 to an hour, youth can finish the whole training. You'll be awarded a certificate of completion right on the spot. So youth can download the app, the certificate, and be able to have that in their email as well.
After the internships, youths are still able to receive support from the Brooklyn staff, and as they begin their careers and dive deeper into the workforce, we constantly support youths throughout their internships and after their internships are over.
Get Ready is open now, and it will close March 8th. And then the application for internship opens March 8th. And it will close on April 5th. Stay tuned. The way how you can get connected again is through our website, www.brooklink.works.
911, what's your emergency?
I think my father's having a heart attack.
Most people think that when they see a fire engine driving down the road, lights and sirens, that we're going to a fire. The reality is today is about 70 to 80% of our calls are emergency medical calls.
Fire department!
We are bringing our toolbox as well as our expertise and our training right to that patient's side and then prepare that patient for when the paramedics arrive on scene.
Anybody home?
It really requires a lot of people to help manage that scene.
Typically, we're arriving prior to EMS, and we're starting that initial patient assessment and patient care right away. We bring with us what we call a bundle of care.
Sir! Sir!
Early EMS really focused on, keeping that patient alive and rushing them to the closest hospital so that they could get to a physician, an operating room. It wasn't uncommon that someone would get sick and you'd either bring the doctor to the patient's house or you would try and figure out a way to rush that patient down to some type of medical care.
1, 2, 3.
It really wasn't until the 1960s that people really began to focus on this true emerging issue of people dying in the United States. And in 1965, there was a report that was published. We identified that more people are dying on American streets than were actually dying on the battlefield defending our country in war. We realized that we had this equipment, the technology, and the expertise in the hospital, but we really need to start bringing those resources to the patient's side in the field.
CPR is cardiopulmonary resuscitation, which essentially is trying to create what the heart was doing on its own. When that heart stops and we start pushing on the person's chest and putting pressure on it, we're circulating that blood throughout the body. It also may include artificial respiration, where we use mechanical devices to breathe for the person that's down.
Clear. Lung check. Breath. Good.
Probably the biggest thing is it's so critical because you want to keep that blood flow to the brain. And if you don't do that, things start to die immediately. and it makes it much more difficult for the heart to restart.
Even looking at this book from 1937, there's actually some procedures that were identified and illustrated in it. So then we started combining chest compressions and ventilations, and then what ultimately became more modern day CPR.
Recent studies show that of the people that survive, only about 8.2% of those people survive neurologically intact.
As a fire chief, one of the things that I always want to look at is how do we best serve our community? How do we do this for cardiac arrest patients?
Cardiac arrest is really when our heart's electrical system fails us. Everybody has an electrical system in their heart, and when something goes wrong with that or the electrical activity stops, we call that sudden cardiac arrest. Our hearts need that electrical activity in order to beat. When that electrical activity stops, the blood flow also stops.
Clear the patient. Clear. Clear. Shock.
Brain cells start to die, our other major organs start to shut down and fail.
When this pandemic started to really impact us locally in Brooklyn Park, we needed to change our procedures and the way that we operate on a day-to-day basis. Nationwide, there was data starting to emerge that was showing that there was a significant increase in out-of-hospital cardiac arrest events. N95 masks, the gowns, gloves, and disinfecting protocols, that was part of it. But then we also looked at technology. We were able to purchase over $100,000 worth of valuable life-saving equipment. Two of the things that we looked at is our Lucas and our EleGuard.
So the Lucas device is an automated CPR device, and what that means is it's a machine that's taking over the compressions that a person would normally do on somebody's chest. So if you think about the heart and the chest almost like a bellows, the more we can draw that chest upward, the more blood that's going to be drawn into the heart, and then when we push down, it's going to cause additional blood that's pulled into that heart to go out and circulate the system.
It's consistent CPR. Whether you're taking a victim down the stairs, whether you're taking them in the ambulance, you're not being jostled around, this device is doing the chest compressions extremely efficiently.
Then they can also focus on other duties, like assisting a paramedic and doing other life-saving interventions.
We're actually able to increase blood flow to the brain 2 to 3 times more than we would with conventional, just regular hands-on CPR. It's an extra set of hands, and it doesn't get tired.
Then you add the EleGuard, which is elevated CPR, raises the torso up. You know, we always thought that the blood made a loop when you're doing compressions. It's not that way. You actually have 2 waves, an arterial and a venous pressure wave colliding in the brain, and that can cause brain damage. Most people end up with some kind of mental incapacitation.
The EleGuard systematically raises the patient's head, heart, and chest in order to drain blood from cranium from the head. So deoxygenated blood out of the head allows more oxygenated blood flow into the head and to the brain, and protects the person from that concussion.
This impacted someone that I know quite well, both as a friend and as a professional colleague. Chief Kiewicz from Ridgefield Fire suffered not 1, but 2 cardiac arrest events. He was placed on a Lucas device and an EleGuard, and I was able to talk to him, within days of him being discharged out of the hospital.
So I started in the fire service as kind of a midlife career change. I had wanted to be a firefighter as a young child, but my life took a different turn. And then I got hired at Ridgefield in 2000. So it was July 1st, It was Wednesday. I had just taken the garbage down to the curb because it was pickup day. And I was walking back to the house and I felt a really heavy pain in my chest. I didn't have any of the other classic symptoms, no sweating, no shortness of breath, nothing. So I walked into the kitchen, thought, well, maybe I'll eat something. And I started to eat some yogurt and it didn't taste very good. So I went and sat down in my chair and was on the internet and sent a couple of emails to the family, and that's all I remember until I woke up in the ambulance. Edina Fire showed up very quickly. We live very close to the station. They were there in under 3 minutes. They started the bundle of care. They did CPR, they put the Lucas on me, they put me in the Eligard, and they shocked me once at home, took me out to the rig, and they shocked me again in the ambulance. Late August 21st, all I remember is things going very gray. My wife looked over because we were starting to veer off the road. She grabbed the wheel and put us into a marsh, about 40 feet into a cattail marsh. The car behind us happened to stop, and Emily, is a nurse at Mercy. She went right out into that marsh, and her husband called 911, Matt, and she started doing CPR on me in the car. The first one on the scene with an AED was the emergency management director for the Mille Lacs Band. He came down and he started doing CPR on me. He and Emily were alternating and they were shocking me. I came to when they put the intraosseous line into my tibia, got into the helicopter, and 30-minute trip to the U. They went in, they checked everything, the stents, all my arteries looked good, so they weren't really sure what caused the second one. Since then, I've been rocking and rolling. I can't emphasize enough how important bystander CPR is. It's incredibly humbling to see everything that, as a chief, that you want to put in place with your people and how they act, and to have that be there for me, it's so humbling. As a firefighter, as an EMS professional, this is what we want to see. These are the outcomes we strive for, and to have it happen for me, just it really blows my mind away.
My name's Jesse Struve. I'm the City of Brooklyn Park city engineer. So this project's been in the works for over 10 years. This is shown to help alleviate a lot of future traffic as this area develops from 109th, from Winnetka, from West Broadway. And the first steps is to have the infrastructure in place to allow for the development. We're the 6th largest city in the state of Minnesota right now, and still continuing to grow. I know in this area there's over 1,000 acres that is currently being farmed yet. We have a trail on the south side of 101st Avenue, but there's future plans to connect it further. There'll be a whole trail connections into the Three Rivers Parkway system, into West Broadway. As we obviously get bigger and grow, we have to have that infrastructure, and we've been really over the last 20 years working with MnDOT on 169. Just happy to be almost to the end of the completion time here.
Well, that's all we have for today. Make sure you sign up for text and email alerts on our Brooklyn Park website, and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram for the latest updates from the city. Thank you for joining us for Brooklyn Park Now. See you next time.